I just got off the phone with Tom Mercado from the Budget Committee. This thing with Father screwed up, Hooch.
What? They can't lump us in with that fucking Martian.
We're all in the same boat, fellas.
But our shenanigans are cheeky and fun.
Yeah, I mean, his shenanigans are cruel and tragic.
Which makes them not shenanigans at all, really. You little shenanigans.
I swear to God, I'll pistol whip the next guy that says shenanigans.
Oh, yeah. 96.1 FM, styling in your ear. Hump Day special coming right at your motherfucking face. We're right here. We're not going nowhere. We're going to be here for the next couple hours. And guess what? Surprise guest, JD Lane is back in the house. She's going to tell you what all her trouble is going to be. So what's up, crew?
Hey, guys.
Not everybody talk at once.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you just fine.
Okay, just making sure. Well,
Your mic's working.
You want me to get into it now?
Well, hey, man, that's on you, man. Fucking, whatever's clever, we can wait till the next hour. I don't care.
Well, you know.
Because it's Happy Hump Day.
Comes first, you know, Happy Hump Day, you know.
Yep.
And you hump too much, you end up with a 16-year-old kid that it wants to buck up, and his dad's not around, and it got to be too much. There was a couple incidents, and he ended up having to move in with his grandpa, with my dad.
Damn,
So
it's not even 2 minutes, man, and we're just ripping the Band-Aid off and dressing the elephant in the room.
Exactly.
Stop. I mean, it's Hump Day. Let's just rip it right off. You know.
Oh, man.
Then we can move along with the show.
Yeah.
You know, I debated on whether or not I wanted to share about it, and we talked about that on whether or not I wanted to share on the show.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the reason that I feel comfortable sharing is, you know, I know that I'm not the only one out there with a teenager that they're struggling with.
No, it's pretty common nowadays.
Yeah, you know, and so, you know, it is what it is. He's living with his grandpa now. He moved out Monday. It was a rough couple of days, kind of bouncing, you know, because it's kind of, I wasn't, you know, obviously 16. I'm not ready for him to leave the nest yet, but, you know, it's not necessarily a permanent situation either, you know, but if he's going to be bucking up and, you know, he's able to overpower me, it can become a dangerous situation, you know.
Yeah, you don't need that.
So he's with Grandpa. They're going out tomorrow, and he's going to get a job, and Grandpa's going to teach him how to drive, and he let him visit his girlfriend, and so he's happy there so far. So
yeah, because this whole incident started because he's got a girlfriend that
he's got a girlfriend that lives in the town over
Yeah.
who had a track meet, and I had agreed to take him to see her track meet. Well, he didn't tell me that the track meet was 30 minutes away, and I hadn't planned for it, and it just didn't. We were trying to negotiate, and he just did not like the negotiation that I was, you know, laying out for him. And so one thing led to another, and a teenage rampage took place, you know, and so it's just kind of,
well, you know,
it's a tough situation, but I think that he'll eventually grow out of this phase.
You know, I had three girls I raised for 7 years, and being a parent, which I wasn't their dad, but I was the best thing they had to a dad. I don't negotiate shit. When I tell you to fucking do something, you do it, and that's the way I was brought up.
Yep.
And you get rewarded as, you what's the word my dad used to use? You got to prove yourself. You haven't earned your stripes yet.
Well, I almost had to negotiate here and there because of being a single mom, and there were things, you know, where there were times where I needed them, you know, to either babysit or to do a chore or to do this or that. So that's where negotiations started. As far as negotiations for him to basically get his way, that didn't really start until he started kind of bullying me, you know, and bullying the situation, taking advantage of the situation, or you know, manipulating. You know, he knows how to play mom. We all know how to play our moms if we really want to.
Not my mom. My mom would see through all the bullshit.
Yeah, 16-year-old bullshit. That's what it is. That's why I'm really hopeful. I mean, the kids wanted to go into the military since he was, you know, I think he was 3 years old the first time he wanted his first Army outfit. You know, and so that's something that we're also kind of getting them into. They have the recruiters. They have a lot of programs for kids his age. You know, where they get real active with the kids, where they'll have weekend things or, you know, nightly things that they'll do with the kids, little activities and things like that, that they'll do with the teenagers.
Remind him that nowadays it ain't like the old days where you're a troublemaker. They put you in the Army to straighten you up. Nowadays, they won't take you if you're screw up.
Well, or they'll kick you out.
Yeah, and he's gonna make sure he keeps his nose clean until he gets in there. You know.
Yes. Yeah. Exactly. And
it ain't like
so
it used to be.
The reason that we want to get him get him involved with the recruiters now is because he does need to understand that. Well, and another thing to understand is they don't take dummies. So you know, he talks about how he wants to drop out and this and that, which you know, there is equivalencies, and he can go into a trade school. I've known a lot of guys who have done really well for themselves.
Yes.
And left school early, you know, or if he were to go into the military, I'm fine with that, but he has to get his GED. You know, there's a lot of things that have to take place, and we've got till November till we cross that bridge. But yeah, you know, just all that teenager stuff, fun stuff. Sometimes it can really take over life for a minute there, but you know, it's all about how you bounce back.
Yeah, just don't let it consume you. You know, you gotta take one step at a time.
Well, and that's where I'm at now. I got to make sure I don't not only sit in grief because my baby is no longer in my home, but also shame, because I know with some of his behaviors that he's displaying, I know where a lot of my mistakes lied when he was little. You know what I mean? And so it's hard, you know, those are two very crippling emotions. So not getting stuck in them, that's definitely going to be part of the process, I think.
Yep.
Yeah. But we'll see how it goes. I'll keep everybody posted here and there and let everybody know how we're doing. We'll take prayers and good vibes and whatever it is that you like to send, you know. And if, you know, any of the listeners, if you guys are struggling with this, man, I feel you. We'll get through it together.
I don't know if you knew it or not, but my oldest daughter, my oldest real daughter, that's mine, is 20, and she's got autism and explosive defiant disorder.
Oh, yes, I've heard of that.
And I dealt with that the whole time. She didn't get so much with me as she did with her mom. When she was 15, she beat the shit out of her mom.
That's really interesting, because my son, we've wondered if he's autistic his whole life.
He may be high-functioning autistic, and he may have that explosive defiant disorder. Or anytime you tell something, they go into a rage.
I'm going to look into that because, I always tell people 98% of the time, he's a great kid. But then
that's how she is. She can be the sweetest girl in the world.
Yeah.
And then switch flips.
It's just they are so extreme that it's almost too much to handle.
Yeah. All of a sudden you turn the light switch on and boom. Yep.
Yeah. Yes. And it's only over certain things, you know.
And my daughter can turn it off the same way.
That's interesting. Well, you know, now that we do have him now in a very intensive outpatient, you know, program. So I'm going to mention that to his doctor and see if maybe into that, because like I said, we've speculated over the years if he's autistic, but I've never had him tested. And I have a 4-year-old going on 5. He's autistic.
Yeah.
So I've heard it can be genetic. So that's interesting. I'm glad that you shared that.
Yeah, my daughter was diagnosed when she was 4, so I know exactly where you're coming from. We dealt with it the whole time she was growing up. Her main opposition was to her mother.
Yes, that's how he is.
She had that respectable fear of me because I didn't put up with her shit. But she would throw fits for her mom and try to beat on her mom. And as she got older, her mom would give in. Her mom would let her have her way, so she just shut up.
Well, and
I said, when she's 14, that's going to bite you on the ass.
Mm-hmm.
And it did. Because when she was 14, she just sort of to, I'll just beat your ass, bitch, you know?
Yep. Yeah. Well, and that's how he is with me. Mainly he comes at me. I mean, shoot, my dad, I talked to him earlier today, and he got him to do all of his schoolwork and stuff today. And it's like, well, why the hell didn't you do that here? You know?
Well, it's new right now.
Well, it's new, yeah.
Well,
He'll challenge your dad, too. He'll eventually challenge you. He'll eventually challenge your dad.
Yeah, I think so, too.
He'll push him and see how far he can push him.
Yeah.
That's what mine did with me.
I do that.
She found out where my breaking point was, and she found out that no matter what she did to her mom wouldn't flip out.
I do that with Jimmy.
So
I do that with Jimmy all the time.
Shut up.
Yeah, I send him secret texts and threatening. I make fun of his weight. And he's like, please quit doing that. No, I don't do that shit. Murder! I'll fucking do it again! Motherfucker, wait till after this show you see the text message I sent you. Yeah, there's going to be some...
No, I feel you. I've been through it all.
There's going to be some motherfucker in Southern Illinois going, see, he threatens his co-workers. First off, if I threatened any co-worker, I wouldn't do it in a text.
No, not gonna leave a paper trail.
No, fuck no. No, I mean, I've known Jimmy forever. We've never got into an argument.
No.
Not
even close.
I've known JD for quite a while, and we've never got into an argument.
No, I could never imagine. There's such communication.
Yeah, I mean, generally, I'm the shoulder she cries on. So, you know, I mean,
he's the phone call I'll answer.
Yeah, sometimes.
I used to be a really bad hothead.
Oh, so did I. I was a fucking asshole.
Oh man, I was too. And I still am to people that I don't like or don't know.
Well, you got to treat people with respect.
What'd you say?
I don't let many people in. So most people that know me in my personal life kind of think I'm an asshole.
Yeah,
because I've got enough friends that I don't need anymore.
Well,
there's a difference between being a kind person and being a nice person.
Right.
Yeah, but I'm gonna tell you something about Jimmy, okay? If Jimmy's at a car show, it doesn't matter if 20 of his friends are there. A lot of times he's quiet. You know?
Yeah, but that's my element.
And that's, you know, Jimmy is an outspoken person, but he is also a shy person.
Yes.
And sometimes...
Depending on my element.
Yeah, it depends on his element. And it also depends... Jimmy is kind of that country style. Sometimes he just doesn't have anything to say.
Sometimes I'm just taking everything in.
Yeah,
and people think I'm being an asshole, but I'm just sitting back and listening.
Yeah, so it's like, you know, when we were talking about doing a new morning show and stuff, and I was thinking about who would be good, you know, and Jimmy would be good, but I didn't know Jimmy had radio experience. He had actually worked for a radio station when he was younger.
Right.
And so he had kind of seen the morning show and stuff, and he was a little bit of a fan, and I called him and I'm like, hey, I got this opportunity, and, you know, what do you think? And he's like, well, what do I got to do? You know, and, you know, I was like, well, we'll do a couple of test shows and see how it is. And he's like, well, I do have radio experience. And I was like, oh, no shit. So that's kind of cool. Where JD had no radio experience, you know, I mean, you know, she has entertaining experience. So the thing was, you know, we rolled the dice, and then even Jimmy's girl was like, it just doesn't sound like you. Like, I listened to the show, and you're more outspoken than anything. Well, it's because Jimmy's in his element.
Yeah.
You know, and then back to kids, and this goes back to the problems that you went through.
Yeah.
Kids can take advantage, but sometimes they're out of their element. So him being over at the grandpa's house, he's going to be the golden child, and then he's going to start pushing the buttons. And guess what?
He's not comfortable yet.
Guess what?
I was thinking exactly that. That's so wild that you even use that term, the golden child, because right now he's getting golden child treatment. Absolutely.
Yeah. But
he's never told him no yet.
Yep. And the thing is, once he flips out on Grandpa's going to go old school on him.
Yeah.
And he's going to figure out real quick, I can't play this game.
And he's going to be calling Mom, can I come home?
Yeah, and the thing is, it just is what it is. And that's just, we think back, and it's crazy because we think back, well, when we were teenagers, we weren't that bad. To be quite honest, I was a fucking terror, okay?
Oh my gosh, yeah, we fucking were. Yeah, I know, I sure was, and I know that
I wasn't at home.
Yeah.
I was a terror when I was out, but at home, you towed the line.
Yeah, but see,
when I called Dad to let him know what was going on and to talk to him about everything, he started giggling at first. And he said, "Oh yeah, you got one just like yourself?"
Yeah, well, what's interesting is my dad said the same thing to me. He goes, "One day I hope you have a kid that's way worse than you." But see, I had simple rules at home. If I got my chores done, they didn't give a fuck what I did. So that's kind of one of the big reasons I really regret not bringing my mom on the show because she recently passed away. My mom would have been a fucking riot on this show.
Oh, yeah.
But there's a part of me that I've caught my mom telling, my stepkids is like, "Oh, I never spanked your dad," which is bullshit. Because, I mean, why would you lie to grandkids, I got my ass beat all the time, But
she's got to be a sweet granny.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I never beat him with a fucking lamb.
You may not have spanked me, Mom, but tell him about that with a high heel to the side of my face.
Yeah, dude, my mom was fucking accurate with a fucking high heel. But see, here's the other thing. When I got married, I thanked my mom and dad for every ass whipping I've ever got. And that made me who I am. I moved out when I was 16 because I got tired of the bullshit. And
the dumb rules you thought back then.
Yeah, and realistically, I had it fucking good, okay? When you have to start paying power bills and trash and all these utilities and fucking a lease and you got to put gas in your car. I had a fuck ton of money saved up and all of a sudden it starts dwindling down real quick. I'm like, what the fuck?
See, I had a good thing at home because I had a full garage, fully stocked with tools, and a beer fridge, and I could do anything I wanted to as long as I was at home. I could sit out there and get fucked up as long as I wasn't leaving the house.
Yeah, and some parents are like that.
17 and 18. Yeah. As long as I didn't leave the house. And my buddies come out, we'd have 4 or 5 lowriders because we had 2 driveways. We had the driveway they parked in, then we had the driveway where the garage was on the other side of the house. And it was cool because I'd have 4 or 5 buddies over there. We'd have 4 or 5 lowriders in that driveway, and we'd be out there till 10 o'clock at night every night through the week on a school night. And my dad would come out and hang with us for a minute, chill, and he'd rather me be home in the garage messing around than out running around all the time.
Oh, yeah.
And that's the type of parent I tried to be, but for some reason they didn't want to bring me.